YouTube, what is going on? It's Skywise here, back with a video, and we are going to do the 1 week review on the 36 volt 1000 watt kids quad by Mototech. So as you can see, we are having some functionality problems here, so we're going to quickly go over those. We've only had this quad for about a week. We ride our quads pretty hard around here. If you haven't seen already, just in the past week we put out a full review of the quad. We went over all the specs and all the details and how everything worked on it, and it was a great review. We rode it pretty hard in the review. We rode through mud, puddles, water, all sorts of stuff. So if you haven't checked that out, check that out now. But anyways, we're gonna talk about 3 issues I've experienced in the first week with this quad and why you may want to stay away from it or you may want to get it. It's up to you. Let's talk about it. So first, let's talk about the independent front suspension right there. As you can see, that was a big focus on it. It looks phenomenal. It may look phenomenal, but unfortunately, it doesn't really perform phenomenally. So we were riding the Renegades and we were out, we had that, and all I did was go up the curve, like nothing crazy, just a standard curve, went up the curve, and we get, you know, to where we're going, and I look at the quad and the whole front end is leaning, and my kid's like, man, I got a flat tire. And I looked at it, I'm like, man, you got more than a flat tire, you're missing your suspension in the front and the left tire. So we went out back there where the curve was. I figured it had to have been there because that was the only really bump across that we were at, and the suspension was just laying out there in the grass. So super easy to put back on, but check how this came from the factory. Look how loose that piece is. So these clearly just aren't, like, it's there, the piece is there, the suspension looks phenomenal, it's a nice selling point, but it's not a good selling point when it doesn't perform as it's supposed to perform. You would think that maybe it's gonna work. It looks like it works, but clearly it wasn't put on there very well. This is very loose, and I think the strut just unloosened itself over time, and unfortunately it just popped off. Thankfully we were able to recover it, and this is now the second time I've put it back on. I'm gonna give you guys a quick moment to recognize what the next problem could possibly be. Something looks off with that tire. That's because it is. That's because the steering stern completely came off. Look at that. Completely off. Completely off. So that bolt clearly has to come out. I have a new bolt nut that I'm going to put on there. I'm going to put some lithium grease on there. I should be able to fix it, but man, that's messed up. So we're literally equally enjoying this quad, and we're working on it. That's what sucks. Like today, it's a nice day out. I didn't want to have to get off work, my boy, and work on this. My boy can't even ride it. We're working on it instead, so that's kind of unfortunate. And then my third gripe isn't really that big of one, but I would like to stress the battery life just doesn't last long enough. I know that can be easily fixed with lithium batteries being installed, but I don't want to do that. I don't really like messing with batteries. And also, like, the headlights are cool, but if you run the headlights, it just kills the battery even faster, even though they're LED. That's really my only other gripe, is we're constantly charging it. You're honestly, like, this is what I'm trying to get at with this video. I need to go get a gas quad, like a 110, like a Tao or something, just like a nice little Chinese gas quad that I can jet the carb and I can adjust the carb. That's much easier than doing this. I mean, this quad it's just too much. Like, I'm just constantly wrenching on it. But if you got a kid like mine and he rides this shit hard and he wants to be like dad and he wants to ride, this ain't the right machine. You could just, for the same amount of money, because these go for about $1,200 new to like maybe $9.99. For the same amount of money, you can get a used 110, 125cc quad. I mean, as long as your kid's ready for something like that. And it's probably gonna run better than one of these. So I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna put this back together. We're gonna get it riding again. But I mean, if you're not mechanically inclined and you don't like messing with shit like this, I recommend staying away. But that's just my honest opinion. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Check the videos out on the channel. We just put up a video. We were doing wheelies on the Renegade. We have a bunch of videos up, so check that stuff out. Subscribe, like, and hell yeah, brother.